Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we're looking at Rubicon models 1 in 56 scale M48A3 pattern for Vietnam. So what I've done, I'll actually show the turret first. It hasn't been worked on yet, but it has, as its base colours. The base colours are put on with an airbrush, which was, I believe, AK's bronze green, and then it had some I think it's like I put some Panzer uniform white into it just to lighten it up slightly. I went over everything more or less, as you can see. Then on this is where I've started anyway. I then did what I've been doing with the Bandai Attack Walker from the Star Wars one. I've gone over it with more acrylic paint, but because not all of them, some of them were, whether they've been freshly painted and they just had dust over them, they were just more or less one colour of like a darker green, bronze green. I'm looking through the camera here and it's showing slightly lighter than it does off camera. It's got a more bronze green look to it, darker than the original airbrush coating on it. So I've gone over there. This one hasn't, the walk, if you remember, if you watched that one, I'd put a couple of coats of satin clear coat stroke varnish over the top of that. I hadn't with this one because I just wanted to see what the reaction was. I'd also, in parts, although most of those parts have been covered up with stowage, I've used glue to give me a cast effect because it had quite a gnarly cast hull and turret and that. So I was a bit wary of where the paint was going to go, if it would like do the coffee stain ringing, and it hasn't. It's come out quite nice. So I've mixed if you want to know the dark colours, I've mixed Gav can get it out of his head, the dark sea blue with some RAF dark green World War II, and that's given me, see the best what I can do around there. You see that gives you that colour there. I've then gone over it with the RAF dark green, which gives you more or less some of these type of tones here, and then I've used it's like a grey green. It's like a grey green for uniforms. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's a grey green, a bit not far off this, to be honest with you. And then I'd done the German World War II aircraft grey green primer for just some selected areas. That one now I did last night. That's a bit too harsh, so I'll knock that back a bit there. But if you can see, that's how obviously it's got it's angled on the engine deck there. But it gives a really nice patinaed, mottled effect, which is what I wanted, because I could see that on some of the tanks where I've been in the field a lot, and the paint mottles to a degree. Obviously, I've got to do the stowage. I've got it. It's all then got to have like it's not going to have a filter over the top, the whole vehicle, but it will then. It's going to have a dust put over it in paint form. I'm not sure yet though what I'm going to do. People often put the Vietnam orange earth on most of the models. Well, not all of it was. A lot of it was just like the classic dusty type colours, depending where it was in Vietnam. I'm angling that this is doing convoy duties and keeping roads open on the Cambodian border in the later period of the Vietnam War, when they did the incursions into Cambodia itself. This is a piece of I-beam that they've tack welded on, and to keep the sandbags and stuff on. So I wanted that, although they've painted it, I've wanted in the workshops, I've wanted it to rust up quicker than the rest of the tank would have done. So this might look a bit stark, the rust on the front where it's been dinged, but that's going to be, again, have some type of weathering on as well. This is like a rust patina. The tanks I was looking at, I was taking off different photographs. Seems to be like classic, like the hinges on the different boxes. They wouldn't always all be rusty or all be perfect. So I've tried to do, the odd hinge that's more rusty than the other. Like say this one here. Outline the edges. I will go round with a pencil later on and maybe just edge some of it just to give a steel look. And I've also used the mechanical pencil to go down the insides of the deeper recesses there. I tried it on these like strengthening louvers here because they're not open as far as I'm aware, and it didn't really work there because it didn't really have a deeper edge to go into. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing that. Just like the Walker, it's quite therapeutic. So because this has been dinged at the back now, a lot of them were missing, just like World War II tanks, were missing the rear fenders, front and back, or one miss. The classic. I decided on these ones though because they weren't put on separately; they were already part of the. Because this is mainly for wargaming. Mine won't be, probably just be for my collection, but I've chiseled away and put some scrapes and dings in that, and that one's still got to be worked on. I've done some. These get heavily carbon and sooted up from the engine. Might put some more on, might not. I just need to look at some more reference photos, and obviously this hasn't really been worked on yet. As you can see here, none of this has been worked on, so it's taking a while. It's as I say, just like the Walker, it's slow and methodical. There's not much you can speed up on, which I'm happy about doing. I just do. I thought no, I'll get back to the Walker again. I just fancied getting this further forward because it's just been sat there like the Walker, languishing, waiting for all built. And in this case, it was actually like the Walker. It actually had its base coat on for ages. I've just not. I've just been doing other things not to get onto it, and I'd like to get those two put out the way, so at least I can say, I've got two cars, but in a sort of clear conscience, that I can move on to my Starfighter. I left I wish I didn't in some respects because I do like to, even though I can't. I left them on because I knew I wouldn't be able to see it. The tracks come really close to the top, but I should. That was it. The reason I didn't was because I didn't put any card or anything to. As you can see, there's a gap around there, a hole or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'll do all this as well. I won't. The bottom, I don't know if I'll do it all. I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see. Because again, you're never going to see it, but we'll see. And then stowage, all the stuff. I want to, because the idea is to obviously do all this mottling on here, or paint, whatever you want to call it. Do the road wheels. Obviously, the road wheels and tracks are all, well, they're not. You don't have to build them up as such, but they're all done, and the turret needs doing. And so once that's done, the decals that I need to put on will go on. Some you won't be able to, won't be able to put on because of different stowage and whatever in the way. But there are different. They give you loads of decal options, and you can see where they've taken them off the photographs of Vietnam. When you look for Vietnam tanks yourself, you see, because one of the favourite places, if they were carrying a searchlight, was obviously, that's a nice place to do a cartoon or something, and down the barrels, obviously, and things like that. So. As I've always said, this won't be. It never has been a particular tank. As you can see, let's just. I'm not going to clip her in there, but let's just see if we can just get her to sit there. It's a bit tight. I might probably have to rub the paint away. But as you can see, she really is tooled up. 350 cals. That was taken from an actual tank I'd seen online in Vietnam. It had 350 cals. The next one I saw had 250 cals on the Commanders and a M60 where this 50 is. I believe there was a second tank I'd seen with 350s as well. So yeah, it's not going to be a particular tank. It's just, and it was going to be a Marine Corps tank because obviously my stuff's all in Huey at the moment. So it's a bit. These weren't like this in Huey as far as I've seen. They were all fairly actually mainly bog standard. There weren't a lot of, the 50 cal might be on the top cupola, which could be legitimately put there by the commander. I think they were saying they found it was a trade-off. You either had your head sticking out using the 50 on top, only to obviously have your head blown off in the streets of Huey, or if you needed to get in and out the tank quickly, like bailing out, having the 50 there was really tight in the cupola itself. So yeah, this is what I call a convoy protection M48, which there were a lot of in the army side, because I'll be doing army at some point as well, so it didn't really phase me as such really, and also my imagination got the better of me. So anyway, you look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. Next time you see this one, me, I'll stick a video up on a whim really, but she'll all be green definitely, and then after that, you might get a video, or it might be wait till I've done all the stowage as well. I have no idea. I've still got to. I cast the crew in. It's still been sat on the desk for ages. Cast the crew in with Oshimuru and Milliput, so I've got all that to work on. Because I needed an extra crew member, if you remember, for the driver's position, which isn't provided. And I'll stick him on a bit of spare sprue. And then I did try and I have tried to sculpt just the chest area of one, and I can't find it now. And by the time I've tried to fit him in the hole, he wouldn't go. So, and then when I looked at it, most of the drivers literally just had their head and chin above the driver's compartment. So, hey ho. Anyway, so yeah, there's a fair bit to go. But as I say, all this particular little project has been really enjoyable, just because that ends up sitting waiting forlornly for more action. It's very rare that even as enjoyable as a project is, I just razz along with it till it's done. I will be doing that with my aircraft. I want them done and dusted as I do each one. But these guys, they get done as and when, just on a whim, really. As I say, all the stowage, as you can probably tell, is all handmade. Just with offcuts and stuff, just to barely resemble different ammo boxes and that the crews tended to just use all for their multi stuff they wanted to store in it. Anyway, I'll keep waffling, don't I? It's what Gav does best. You look after yourselves. Coming up soon, I keep saying this, we've got some Napoleonic Hussars. We've got some 6mm Normandy. I'm just painting the edges later on of those bases before. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I might carry on mottling this. I keep calling it because it's like a mottle, where the paint's fading in areas. But I might do this one, or I might do the Walker, because I would like to have both those really pushed along. I will probably all I've got left to do, and again I'm dragging my feet. I'll be doing those tomorrow. Is these jerry cans? I gave them a base coat, and then they can go on the Semavente in 1/35 scale, and then I can literally get a piece of blue foam and cut a small area out and muck around with that, and then that's done. And it's actually a model box that can be put in the recycling. So anyway, look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.